I never expected that a single, unexpected alert on my phone would open the floodgates to a secret life I never knew I craved. It started on an otherwise unremarkable evening in early November, one of those cool, crisp nights when the city's neon glow seems to promise that hidden wonders lie just beneath the surface of everyday routine. I was alone in my modest apartment, curled up on the sofa with a well-worn book and a cup of herbal tea, when an alert from an app I'd long forgotten caught my eye. The notification was simple, almost imperceptible, yet its message was charged with intrigue. Exclusive reservation confirmed. Celestial Escape Retreat, 9 p.m. Lavish hidden dinner awaits. At first, I blinked in disbelief. My life had always been a series of predictable moments, early mornings marked by the sound of my alarm clock, a steady commute to work, and evenings spent in solitude. I prided myself on living an orderly life, one devoid of surprises or extravagance. But that alert, with its crisp, elegant font and mysterious tone, struck me like a lightning bolt. There was no sender name, no explanation, only an invitation to escape, to indulge in something far removed from my well-practiced routine. For a long moment, I sat in silence, my mind racing with possibilities. Could this be a mistake? A glitch in the system? Or was it, as the message seemed to imply, an exclusive invitation to a secret getaway, one that promised a night of luxury, hidden gourmet dinners, and perhaps even a rendezvous with someone whose identity remained shrouded in mystery? I scrolled through my messages and checked my calendar, desperately searching for any trace of such a booking that I might have forgotten or dismissed. There was nothing. No record of a reservation, no reminder of a planned trip. Yet here it was, an alert that spoke of a celestial escape retreat, a name that seemed to evoke both ethereal beauty and a promise of forbidden indulgence. I felt a spark of rebellion, a quiet, insistent desire to break free from the constraints of my predictable life. Deep inside, I had long yearned for adventure, for the kind of unexpected magic that only comes when you dare to step into the unknown. My heart pounded as I considered the possibility that this alert was a gateway to a secret world reserved for those who live for moments of passionate spontaneity. A life where the mundane gave way to the extraordinary. After what felt like an eternity of deliberation, I decided to seize the invitation. I quickly cancelled my plans for a quiet evening at home and began to prepare for a night that promised to be unlike any I had ever experienced. I carefully combed through my wardrobe, searching for an outfit that would capture both sophistication and a hint of daring allure. I eventually selected a fitted, midnight blue dress that draped elegantly over my figure, paired with a silver-lined blazer and a pair of sleek, stiletto heels. As I applied my makeup, a bold red lip, softly smudged eyeliner, and eyes that I hoped would reflect both confidence and vulnerability, I felt a transformation begin to stir within me, as if I were shedding an old skin and revealing a bolder, more vibrant version of myself. At exactly 8 p.m., I locked my apartment door and stepped out into the cool November air, the city buzzing with the promise of secret adventures. I hailed a rideshare, and as the sleek, black sedan pulled up, I clutched my phone tightly, the mysterious alert still glowing on the screen. The driver greeted me with a polite nod, and I gave him the destination, Celestial Escape Retreat. The ride was quiet, the interior of the car bathed in soft, ambient lighting. As we drove through familiar neighborhoods, I watched the city transform. The typical streets gave way to an upscale district adorned with designer storefronts and elegantly lit avenues. Each passing block seemed to pull me further from the life I had known and closer to a realm of possibility. After what felt like a journey between two worlds, the car finally pulled up in front of an impressive building that looked every bit as exclusive as its name implied. Celestial Escape Retreat was emblazoned in sleek, modern lettering on a softly illuminated sign over the entrance. I paid the driver and stepped out into the night, my breath visible in the cool air. The building's architecture was a harmonious blend of glass and steel, evoking both futuristic design and a timeless elegance. I approached the entrance with a mixture of trepidation and exhilaration, my heart pounding with anticipation. A discreet attendant greeted me at the door with a courteous smile. "Good evening, Ms. Langley," he said, his tone gentle and formal, as if my arrival had been long expected. I was taken aback that he knew my name. I had not shared it with anyone regarding this mysterious invitation. He quickly explained that my reservation had been confirmed through a private network, and that I was to check in immediately. With a soft nod, he handed me a sleek keycard and directed me toward the elevator. The elevator ride felt like a slow ascent into a different dimension. As the doors closed, I watched the numbers climb one by one, each floor taking me further away from the world I had known and closer to the life of indulgence and hidden beauty that awaited me. When the doors finally opened on the 12th floor, I stepped into a corridor lined with plush carpeting and tasteful modern art. At the end of the hall, a door marked Suite 1207 beckoned. I swiped my keycard, and the door opened with a quiet chime. Inside, the suite was nothing short of breathtaking, a luxurious retreat of refined elegance. Floor-to-ceiling windows framed a panoramic view of the city, a glittering mosaic of light stretching out into the night. The decor was a delicate balance of modern minimalism and classic touches, a plush sofa, sleek, contemporary furniture, and a scattering of carefully chosen art pieces that seemed to speak of hidden stories and secret passions. I set my bag on a minimalist console table and took a moment to breathe, letting the reality of this secret escape wash over me. It was surreal to think that I had been whisked away from the confines of a predictable life into a sanctuary that promised the indulgence of the senses and the freedom to explore hidden desires. While I was still absorbing the splendor of the suite, my phone buzzed again. A new notification, equally cryptic, appeared on the screen: decadent dinner awaits. La belle soirée, midnight. Your secret rendezvous begins now. My pulse quickened at the promise of more. The prospect of a gourmet dinner at a high-end venue was too tantalizing to resist. I retrieved a second envelope from a drawer in the suite, inside which lay a handwritten note in elegant cursive. Tonight, step beyond the ordinary. Savor the sumptuous flavors of La Belle Soirée, and let the night reveal its hidden treasures. Your secret admirer. The note sent a shiver of excitement through me. I realized that this was not just a random act of luxury, it was an invitation to experience something extraordinary, a chance to escape the mundane and to taste the forbidden delights of an undiscovered world. Who was my secret admirer? The thought was as intoxicating as it was mysterious, stirring memories of long-held dreams of passion and adventure. I quickly refreshed myself and changed into an outfit that I had carefully laid out, a sleek, black dress that shimmered subtly under low light, paired with a sophisticated clutch and elegant heels. As I looked in the mirror, I saw a reflection that was both familiar and entirely new, a woman ready to embrace the night, to live boldly, and to surrender to the allure of the unknown. At exactly 9:45 p.m., I left the suite and re-entered the lobby, where a rideshare was waiting to take me to La Belle Soirée. The car ride was filled with a heady mix of anticipation and reflection. The city, usually so predictable, now seemed transformed. Each street and building glowed with the promise of hidden stories and secret delights. I watched as the urban landscape unfolded, the familiar replaced by the extraordinary, until finally, the car pulled up in front of an elegant building whose facade radiated understated luxury. A discreet sign near the entrance read La Belle Soirée in graceful script, and as I stepped out into the cool night air, I felt a thrill that was both exhilarating and a little frightening. I pushed open the glass door and entered a dining room that was nothing short of enchanting. Soft, ambient lighting bathed the room in a warm glow, and the gentle strains of a live piano intertwined with the quiet murmur of conversation. Each table was set with immaculate precision, a crisp white tablecloth, polished silverware, and a single red rose that lay at the center like a whispered promise of romance. I was led by a courteous hostess to a reserved table in a secluded corner, where the atmosphere felt intimate and imbued with the promise of secret indulgence. I took my seat, my heart racing with a mixture of nervousness and anticipation, as I recalled the note and the invitation that had set all of this in motion. The first course arrived, a delicately plated amuse-bouche of truffle-infused mushroom tartlet that burst with flavor and set my senses alight. With each bite, I felt as though I were tasting not just food, but a carefully orchestrated expression of passion and luxury. The exquisite flavors, the refined presentation, and the intimate setting all coalesced to make the moment feel transcendent, a brief escape into a world where every detail was designed to evoke wonder and desire. As the evening unfolded course after course, a velvety lobster bisque that warmed me from within, followed by a main course of perfectly seared sea bass with a citrus reduction that danced on my tongue, I became acutely aware of the quiet mystery that surrounded me. Every dish was a work of art, each one a deliberate celebration of the senses. I found myself stealing glances at the other diners, silently wondering if they, too, were part of this clandestine network of secret escapes, if they, like me, had been summoned by an unseen force to break free from the confines of the ordinary. Between courses, I fidgeted with my napkin and checked my phone, half expecting another discreet message to appear, something that might offer a clue to the identity of my secret admirer. But the only messages were the digital echoes of the one that had first revealed the invitation, a message that continued to resonate in my mind long after I had finished each sumptuous bite. Finally, as the final course, a delicate dessert of caramel-infused creme brulee with a perfectly torched top, was served, I felt a quiet thrill of anticipation. My eyes met those of a nearby guest for a brief moment, and I sensed that every soul in the room understood that this was not merely a dinner, but a passage into a hidden world of luxury and romance. Just as the dessert's final notes of sweetness began to linger on my palate, my phone buzzed with one last notification of the night. Your forbidden admirer awaits at the posh hotel bar. Proceed immediately. My pulse raced as I gathered my belongings, feeling as though the entire night had been a carefully orchestrated symphony of indulgence and mystery, a symphony that was not yet complete. I stepped out into the cool night, the sounds of La Belle Soirée fading behind me, and hailed a rideshare once more. The car's interior was a cocoon of soft music and quiet reflections as we drove through rain-kissed streets. Every moment of the journey seemed to echo the secret that had been whispered to me in that enigmatic alert, each neon reflection a reminder that the extraordinary was within reach. When the car finally pulled up outside the posh hotel bar, a secluded lounge tucked away on an upper floor of the Celestial Luxe Hotel, I felt an electrifying mix of nervousness and longing. I stepped out, the cool night air embracing me as I entered the bar, whose refined ambience was a delicate interplay of low lighting, polished wood, and the soft murmur of hushed conversations. I chose a seat at the far end of the bar, where I ordered a cocktail, a signature creation that blended citrus, spice, and a hint of mystery in every sip. Minutes later, as if emerging from the shadows at just the right moment, a man appeared. He was impeccably dressed in a tailored suit, his eyes dark and expressive, and when he approached my table, I felt the world narrow down to just the two of us. "Good evening," he said in a warm, measured tone. "I'm Gabriel." His voice was calm and sincere, and there was a subtle intensity in his gaze that made my heart flutter. As he sat beside me, the ambient music and soft clinking of glasses faded into the background, and we began to talk, first about trivialities, and then about the unexpected magic of secret escapes, the allure of forbidden luxury, and the hidden dreams that often go unspoken. Our conversation flowed with a quiet intensity, each word peeling back layers of routine and revealing the raw passion that lay hidden beneath. Gabriel recounted his own journey, stories of nights spent in lavish hideaways and secret rendezvous that had awakened a part of him he thought had been long dead. I, in turn, shared the slow evolution of my life, the quiet resignation of predictable days and the sudden, exhilarating surge of liberation that had begun when I received that puzzling app alert. In the soft, intimate cocoon of the posh hotel bar, our words wove together, forming a tapestry of vulnerability, hope, and unspoken promises. As the night deepened and the hours slipped by, I realized that the extravagant dinner and covert meetings were not isolated incidents but stepping stones, a series of deliberate invitations to rediscover a life filled with passion, spontaneity, and authentic connection. When Gabriel finally offered a gentle farewell, his hand lingering in a silent promise as he stepped away into the soft shadows of the bar, I felt a bittersweet pang of longing. His parting words, whispered with sincere warmth, reminded me that the night was not an endpoint, but merely a pause in a much larger, unfolding journey. I left the posh hotel bar with my heart full of memories and my mind buzzing with possibilities. The rideshare back to my suite was a reflective passage, a quiet meditation on the series of extraordinary events that had so thoroughly transformed my world. I recalled every exquisite detail, the sumptuous flavors of the dinner, the elegant decor of the hotel, the tender conversation with Gabriel, and each memory glowed with a promise that I was now a part of something much grander than I had ever imagined. Back in the sanctuary of my suite, I sat by the floor-to-ceiling window, the sprawling city below a tapestry of shimmering lights. I opened my journal and began to write, my pen racing to capture every nuance of the night's transformative magic. Every word was a declaration, a promise to embrace the extraordinary, to honor the secret escapes that had awakened my soul, and to continue pursuing the hidden realms of passion and authenticity. In the days that followed, the echoes of that incredible night continued to infuse my life with new meaning. The once mundane routine of my existence had been replaced by an acute awareness of the beauty hidden in every corner, a fleeting smile from a stranger, the soft glow of neon in rain-dappled streets, and the quiet thrill of an unexpected message that hinted at yet another secret rendezvous. I began to see the world with new eyes, recognizing that every moment held the potential for transformation if I was only brave enough to seize it. I have come to understand that the digital receipt, the one that had exposed my secret hotel trips and intimate dinner dates with a forbidden admirer, was not an isolated incident but the opening chapter of a long, unfolding narrative. It was a call to step beyond the confines of a predictable life and into a realm where passion, mystery, and luxury coexisted in delicate harmony. Every clandestine meeting, every sumptuous dinner, every whispered promise has since become a stepping stone on my path toward rediscovering the vibrant, unrestrained self that had long lain dormant. Now, As I sit in the soft afterglow of early morning and reflect on the journey that has reshaped my world, I know that my adventure is far from over. Each new alert, each unexpected notification, is a reminder that the extraordinary is never out of reach for those who dare to live boldly. I remain ever watchful for that next secret invitation, an alert that may once again shatter the confines of routine and open my eyes to a world of hidden wonders. With a heart alight with hope and a soul invigorated by the taste of the forbidden, I close my journal for now, cherishing the memories of that unforgettable night. I step into the new day with a deep sense of gratitude for every secret luxury, every intimate rendezvous that has revealed the extraordinary potential of a life lived authentically. In every quiet moment, I am reminded that the journey to rediscovering who we truly are is paved with bold, unexpected encounters, and that the magic of the unknown will forever be my guiding star. I awoke to an unfamiliar hush, as if the world had paused to let me catch my breath after a night that defied everything I thought I knew about myself. The morning light was soft and diffused, barely stirring the edges of my luxurious suite at the Celestial Lux Hotel, yet its gentle glow carried whispers of secrets still unfolding. My mind, still reeling with the aftershocks of the previous night, was filled with vivid memories, each one a brushstroke in the portrait of a new, hidden life. The digital receipt that had exposed my secret hotel trips and intimate dinner dates with a forbidden admirer had transformed from a mere anomaly into a portal, inviting me to rediscover the parts of me long buried beneath routine. I sat on the edge of the bed for what felt like hours, letting the cool, quiet air of dawn settle over me as I replayed every moment. The app alert that had shattered my daily monotony, the elegant check-in that had led me to a private suite with panoramic views of the glittering city, and the decadent dinner at La Belle Soirée, where each course had not only tantalized my taste buds but awakened a hunger for life's hidden pleasures. And then there was him, Gabriel, whose gentle, thoughtful eyes and sincere, measured words had stirred something deep inside me, igniting a spark I thought had long been extinguished. For so many years, I had lived in a cocoon of predictable habits, a life where every day was a carbon copy of the one before, measured and safe. But that one digital receipt, with its precise details of luxurious escapes and forbidden rendezvous, had peeled back the layers of a carefully constructed facade. In its wake, I had found not just excitement, but a profound sense of liberation. I felt as though I had been nudged, quietly but insistently, toward a future where vulnerability was not a weakness, but a bold act of self-discovery. As I slowly rose, I couldn't help but reflect on the surreal cascade of events that had transformed my world. I remembered the sleek black car that had whisked me away into the upscale district, the grandeur of the Celestial Lux Hotel's lobby that had made my heart flutter with its understated opulence, and the intimate setting of La Belle Soirée, where the soft strains of a live piano and the delicate aroma of gourmet dishes had mingled to create an atmosphere of transcendence. And then there was the posh hotel bar, where, amidst low ambient lighting and whispered conversations, Gabriel had appeared, a forbidden admirer who seemed to embody both mystery and tenderness. After a slow, reflective breakfast in the hotel's modern café, a peaceful space filled with soft classical melodies and the quiet hum of conversation, I settled by the panoramic window with my journal. With trembling hands, I began to write. I recorded every detail, the exact wording of that life-altering alert, the luxurious textures of the suite, the flavors that danced on my tongue during the decadent dinner, and the subtle, electric connection I felt when Gabriel's gaze met mine. Every sentence was an act of reclamation, a refusal to be defined by the mundane. I wrote about the transformation unfolding inside me, a metamorphosis sparked by secret luxury and a forbidden encounter that dared me to live boldly. As the day progressed, I became acutely aware of how my perspective had shifted. Every small detail of the world around me now shimmered with potential. The rain-kissed sidewalks, the glint of sunlight on dew, and even the gentle murmur of everyday conversations took on new significance. It was as though the extraordinary had always been hidden within the ordinary, waiting for me to notice. I began to understand that the digital receipt was not an isolated incident, it was the beginning of a journey, a series of secret escapes that would continually challenge me to embrace passion, authenticity, and a life less ordinary. That afternoon, I ventured out into the city with renewed curiosity. I wandered through a vibrant art district I had always passed by without a second thought, admiring murals that burst with color and emotion. I stopped by a quaint cafe where an elderly man sat alone, sketching in a battered notebook. His eyes, crinkled with both sorrow and joy, met mine for a brief moment, and in that fleeting exchange, I sensed a shared understanding. We were both wanderers in search of something beyond the predictable. These small encounters became a quiet celebration of life's hidden wonders, each one a reminder that adventure could be found even in the most unsuspecting corners. Then, As if the universe had yet another secret to reveal, my phone vibrated with a new notification. Unlike the ones that had come before, this message was more direct, a crisp, clear alert that read, "Your journey continues. Tonight at 8 p.m., join us at the Aurora Pavilion. Let your heart guide you." There was no further explanation, just a promise of a new chapter waiting to be written in the clandestine ledger of my life. My heart leaped with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The Aurora Pavilion was whispered about in the same hushed tones as the places I had already visited, a hidden oasis for those who dared to step away from the everyday and indulge in the forbidden luxury of secret encounters. With a renewed sense of purpose, I returned to my suite and began to prepare once more. This time, I chose an outfit that resonated with the vibrant energy of my transformation, a flowing emerald green gown that shimmered with hints of gold in the soft light, paired with delicate silver accessories that caught the eye with every movement. As I styled my hair into loose, elegant waves and applied a touch of iridescent makeup, I looked in the mirror and saw not the cautious woman of my past, but a version of myself reborn, bold, radiant, and ready to embrace whatever secrets the night might reveal. At 7:30 p.m., I stepped out into the cool evening once again and hailed a rideshare to the Aurora Pavilion. The journey felt like a meditative ascent, a slow, deliberate transition from the familiar urban landscape into a realm of quiet elegance. The car's interior was bathed in a soft glow as I watched the city's neon lights blend with the deepening dusk. Every mile brought me closer to a new experience, each passing street a subtle reminder that my life was now interwoven with the magic of hidden possibilities. When the car pulled up outside the Aurora Pavilion, a sleek, modern building with expansive glass walls that reflected the twilight in shimmering hues, I felt a surge of anticipation. I stepped out onto the rain-slick pavement, the cool air enveloping me as I approached the entrance. A discreet sign, elegantly lit, read Aurora Pavilion. With a deep breath, I pushed open the door and entered a space that seemed to exist in its own private universe. Inside, the pavilion was a sanctuary of contemporary artistry and intimate ambience. The main room was a spacious, open-air lounge with panoramic views of the city's skyline, a glittering expanse of light and shadow that seemed to mirror the inner landscape of every soul present. Plush seating clusters were arranged in intimate circles, each one a little island of quiet conversation and shared reflection. Soft ambient music and the gentle murmur of voices created an atmosphere of serene expectation. I was greeted by a refined attendant who verified my identity and directed me to a secluded table near the edge of the lounge. Here, I could see the entire expanse of the city, its lights twinkling like distant stars against the deep velvet of the night. As I took my seat, I couldn't help but feel that this was more than just another secret escape, it was a declaration of who I was becoming, a woman unafraid to chase after beauty, intimacy, and the unpredictable wonders of life. Throughout the evening at the Aurora Pavilion, I allowed myself to be carried away by the magic of each moment. I mingled with other guests, fellow travelers on this clandestine journey, listening to their stories of quiet defiance and hidden adventures. I shared in small moments of laughter, in whispered conversations about dreams that had long been stifled by the weight of routine. Each interaction, no matter how fleeting, felt like a reaffirmation that the world was full of secret treasures waiting for those brave enough to seek them out. As the hours passed and the ambient glow deepened, a quiet intimacy settled over the lounge. I found myself lost in thought as I gazed out at the city's luminous tapestry, a mosaic of possibilities that stretched out before me. In that reflective space, I thought back to every detail of my journey thus far, the shock of the digital receipt that had exposed my secret escapes, the sumptuous dinner at La Belle Soirée that had awakened my senses, and the tender connection with Gabriel that had hinted at the possibility of forbidden love. Each memory was a stepping stone, guiding me toward a future where I was determined to live authentically, without fear of vulnerability or the unknown. As the clock neared midnight, the atmosphere in the Aurora Pavilion shifted subtly. A hushed excitement rippled through the room, a quiet anticipation that something significant was about to unfold. I felt a mixture of resolve and gentle longing, knowing that the night was far from over. My heart swelled with the promise of new adventures, and I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the soft strains of music and the distant murmur of the city infuse me with courage. Eventually, the evening drew to a close. I exchanged heartfelt goodbyes with a few kindred spirits, their eyes alight with the shared understanding of a journey that was only just beginning. I stepped back into the cool night, my mind alive with possibility and my heart buoyed by the knowledge that every secret escape, every unexpected invitation, was a chance to reclaim the vibrant, passionate self I had always yearned to be. The rideshare back to the Celestial Lux Hotel was a quiet, reflective passage through rain-kissed streets and softly lit boulevards, a moving meditation on the transformative power of living boldly. In the privacy of that car, I allowed my thoughts to drift through the tapestry of the night, the luxurious details of the hotel, the exquisite flavors of the gourmet dinners, the tender moments of connection, and the gentle whisper of promises that lingered in every shared glance. Back in the sanctuary of my suite, I sank into the plush comfort of my favorite armchair by the panoramic window, where the city below sparkled with hidden stories and quiet wonders. I opened my journal once again and began to write feverishly, each word a testament to the metamorphosis that had unfolded within me. I captured the flavors, the sights, the sounds, and, most of all, the emotional symphony of a night that had redefined my very being. Every line was a promise to myself, a vow to continue seeking out the extraordinary, to embrace every secret invitation with an open heart, and to live a life that celebrated both the mystery and the beauty of the unknown. In the days that followed, I found that my inner world had shifted irreversibly. The once monotonous cadence of my existence had been replaced by a newfound awareness, a recognition that even the simplest moments held the potential for magic. Every time I glanced at my phone, every subtle notification now carried a promise of adventure. The echoes of that night continued to inspire me, urging me to live with passion, to take risks, and to trust in the transformative power of hidden, clandestine encounters. Now, as I sit here in the gentle afterglow of dawn, I realize that my journey of self-rediscovery is far from over. The secret escapes, the intimate dinners, and the forbidden connections have become the stepping stones of a life that I now embrace with fierce, unyielding passion. Every whispered promise, every discreet alert is a reminder that the extraordinary is always within reach if we dare to live boldly. With renewed determination, I close my journal for the day and prepare to step into the unfolding tapestry of life, a tapestry rich with secret adventures, hidden passions, and the endless possibility that awaits those who choose to break free from the ordinary. I know that tomorrow, and every day after, will be infused with the quiet magic of the unknown, a magic that has irrevocably transformed me and beckons me onward, ever forward, into a future where every secret invitation is a promise of living fully, passionately, and authentically. I woke up on a misty morning as if emerging from a long, transformative dream. The digital receipt that had once caught me off guard, exposing secret hotel trips and intimate dinner dates with a forbidden admirer, had now become a part of who I was. Over the past several weeks, I had journeyed down a hidden path, one that led me far away from the safe confines of my previous life and into an ever-expanding world of passion, vulnerability, and rediscovery. That night, my most recent secret escape, had been the culmination of all the signals I'd been receiving. It started with another discreet notification on my phone that afternoon, something I had come to expect as a quiet herald of change. Your next chapter awaits. Tonight, attend the private soiree at the Reverie Salon. Let the forbidden guide you. The message arrived without fanfare, yet its promise was undeniable. I spent the rest of the day in a surreal state of anticipation, aware that every ordinary moment was now charged with potential. Every glimpse of light on a rain-worn street, every casual smile from a passerby, was now a silent reminder that my life was becoming a mosaic of hidden wonders. I prepared for this latest escapade with a deliberate excitement. By early evening, I had chosen an outfit that felt like an extension of the person I was becoming, a delicate, shimmering gown in deep violet that cascaded around my silhouette, paired with subtle silver accessories that caught the light with each movement. As I applied a gentle layer of makeup, I found that my reflection now exuded confidence and a hint of defiance. I was no longer the reserved, predictable person I once was. I was someone reborn, willing to risk it all for the beauty of the unknown. At 7:30 p.m., I left my apartment and hailed a rideshare to the Reverie Salon, a venue whispered about in exclusive circles as a hidden gem where secret gatherings transformed into unforgettable soirees. The car ride was a meditative passage through a city that now felt like a vast tapestry of possibilities. Neon reflections danced on rain-soaked streets, and each familiar landmark appeared reimagined in soft, luminescent hues. I was acutely aware that every mile brought me closer to a destiny that was no longer mine to ignore. Arriving at the Reverie Salon, I was struck by its understated beauty. Tucked away behind an unassuming entrance in an elegant part of town, the building exuded an aura of mystique, a modern structure with subtle touches of Art Deco, its facade bathed in the gentle glow of strategically placed lights. I took a deep breath and stepped through the door, entering a world where the ordinary melted away into a realm of whispered secrets and soft, velvety dreams. Inside, the salon was arranged like a private theater of indulgence. The lobby was spacious and minimalist, yet every detail was carefully curated, a series of plush seating areas adorned with artful sculptures, walls covered in abstract murals that hinted at a deeper narrative, and an ambient soundscape of soft jazz mingling with the murmur of hushed conversations. I was greeted by a host whose eyes sparkled with quiet understanding. "Welcome," he said in a tone that was both gentle and assuring, "we've been expecting you." There was no name attached, no further explanation, just the unspoken promise that I was exactly where I was meant to be. I was escorted to a private lounge within the salon, a secluded room draped in rich fabrics and illuminated by soft, golden light. A long, elegantly set table dominated the space, its surface covered with fine porcelain, crystal vases holding single blooms of peonies, and flickering candles that cast dancing shadows on the walls. I took my seat among a small group of guests, each of us a silent conspirator in this clandestine celebration of life's hidden luxuries. Throughout the evening, the atmosphere was both electric and intimate. Waiters moved gracefully among the tables, serving an array of gourmet dishes that were as visually stunning as they were delicious. The first course was a delicate symphony of flavors, a light salad of heirloom tomatoes drizzled with basil-infused olive oil, garnished with edible gold flakes. With each bite, I savored not only the freshness of the ingredients but also the symbolism of rebirth and renewal. As the courses progressed, a velvety butternut soup enriched with a hint of ginger, followed by a main dish of tender, herb-crusted lamb accompanied by a reduction of pomegranate and mint, I found myself captivated by the artistry of the cuisine. Every dish seemed designed not only to delight the senses but also to evoke emotions buried deep within me. Between courses, I exchanged fleeting glances with those around me. I caught the eye of a woman dressed in emerald silk whose smile was both knowing and wistful. I heard snippets of conversation, tales of secret escapes, clandestine encounters, and the kind of profound revelations that only occur when the soul is exposed to the extraordinary. I realized that we were all gathered here for reasons we might not fully understand, a shared desire to step away from the predictable and embrace the mystery of life. As the meal neared its end, a hush fell over the room when the final course was served, a delicate dessert of rosewater-infused panna cotta crowned with a single, perfectly caramelized sugar shard. The sweetness lingered on my palate, a gentle reminder that even the simplest moments could be transformed into something magical. At that moment, I felt a subtle shift, a quiet anticipation that the night's journey was not yet complete. My phone vibrated softly on the table, and I saw another alert, one that made my heart flutter. "Your forbidden admirer awaits your presence at the private terrace. Proceed now." There was a certain finality to the message, a clear invitation to the next, perhaps most intimate, chapter of the evening. I excused myself from the table, leaving behind the soft murmur of contented diners and the lingering taste of exquisite dessert, and made my way to the exit. Outside, the cool night air wrapped around me like a gentle embrace as I hailed a rideshare for the next leg of my journey. The destination was the hotel's private terrace, a secluded, open-air space renowned for its panoramic views of the city skyline and its intimate atmosphere, reserved for those who truly sought to escape the confines of everyday life. I stepped out onto the terrace, and a sense of quiet wonder washed over me. The expansive view of the city, shimmering under the light of 1,000 stars, felt as though it were an endless ocean of possibilities. Soft music, now barely audible, mingled with the distant sounds of the urban night, a soft murmur of life continuing in a hidden symphony. There, beneath the glow of ambient lanterns and amidst a carefully arranged seating area, stood a man whose presence was both magnetic and tender. He was dressed in a sharp, tailored suit that accentuated his calm, confident demeanor, and his eyes, dark and soulful, met mine with an intensity that left me momentarily breathless. "Good evening," he said quietly, his voice resonating with both warmth and a trace of mystery. "I'm Sebastian." In that brief introduction, I sensed that the night was about to offer yet another secret, a forbidden encounter with someone whose very existence was intertwined with the extraordinary promises of the hidden world. Over the next hour on the terrace, Sebastian and I sat in a quiet circle of intimate conversation. The soft light of the lanterns painted our faces in gentle hues, and every word we exchanged was a delicate revelation. Sebastian told me that he had long lived in the shadows of a life governed by convention, until a series of secret escapes had taught him the beauty of vulnerability. He described his own forbidden adventures, secret hotel trips, decadent dinners in exclusive settings, and moments of daring intimacy that had awakened him to the possibilities of a life unbound by expectation. His words, sincere and deeply personal, resonated with the hidden part of me that had always yearned for more than the safe, monochrome days I'd once known. I found myself opening up in a way that was both liberating and terrifying. I confessed that for years, I had sheltered my dreams and desires behind a veneer of routine and caution, never daring to believe that I could be more than the sum of predictable days. Sebastian listened intently, his eyes soft with empathy. "It takes immense courage," he murmured, "to step into the unknown and to trust that the beauty of life lies just beyond the familiar." His words were a balm to my soul, a reminder that even the most forbidden passions could blossom when nurtured by authenticity. As the night on the terrace drew to a close, the collective murmur of the urban landscape and the distant hum of life below seemed to wrap around us like a quiet lullaby. I felt a deep, resonant connection, not only to Sebastian but to every secret moment that had led me to this point. With a tender smile and a whispered goodbye, Sebastian pressed a small, elegant card into my hand, a token of our meeting and a promise that our paths might cross again in the mysterious dance of hidden adventures. I stepped back inside the hotel, my heart full yet aching with the bittersweet taste of the night's revelations. The rideshare back to my suite was a reflective journey, a silent, solitary passage through rain-kissed streets and softly lit boulevards, each passing moment a quiet reminder of the transformation that had begun within me. Once in the sanctuary of my suite, I sat by the large window that overlooked the city's glittering expanse, my mind alive with the memory of every clandestine encounter, every whispered secret from the night. I opened my journal and began to write, each word a careful chronicle of my journey, of the unexpected luxury, the forbidden romance, and the exquisite thrill of living a life unburdened by the predictable. I captured the taste of every gourmet delicacy, the delicate interplay of light and shadow in secret dining rooms, and the profound emotional resonance of every touch, every shared glance. With every sentence, I felt the weight of my old life melting away, replaced by a vibrant tapestry of hidden wonders and boundless possibility. In the days that followed, I noticed subtle yet profound changes. The mundane details of daily life, once taken for granted, now shimmered with hidden meaning. The simple act of walking down a city street became an exploration of light and sound, as I looked for the extraordinary hidden in everyday moments. I began to engage with others more openly, sharing smiles and soft words that spoke of a renewed zest for life. I even started to write poetry, a spontaneous outpouring of emotion that captured the magic of secret escapes and the daring beauty of embracing the unknown. I came to understand that the digital receipt which had exposed my secret hotel trips and intimate dinner dates was not a mere anomaly, but the catalyst for a profound metamorphosis. Each clandestine meeting had peeled back another layer of my self-imposed restraint, revealing a deeper, more authentic me, a me unafraid to savor the forbidden pleasures of life. In every secret invitation, every discreet alert, I saw the promise of transformation, a promise that if I dared to follow the call of the unknown, I would be forever changed. Now, as I reflect on these nights in the quiet solace of my suite, I know that my journey is just beginning. The secret escapes have become my compass, a delicate guide that points toward a future rich with passion, adventure, and authentic connection. I remain ever watchful for the next invitation, the next message that might once again shatter the confines of routine and lead me into a realm where every moment is a celebration of life's hidden splendors. I close my journal tonight with a deep, unyielding resolve, a promise to live fully, to embrace every secret, every forbidden encounter, and to cherish the extraordinary beauty of a life lived in daring authenticity. With the gentle glow of the city below and the quiet certainty that I am now a part of something far larger than my former existence, I step into the new day with an open heart and eyes wide open to the endless possibilities that await those brave enough to follow the call of the unknown.